we have a fabulous guest named Alexzenia Davis, a young poet that I was introduced to by a good friend of mine, Jesse Russell Brooks. Thank you so much for being with us, Alexzenia.
Thank you for having me.
I love your locks.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Natural hair.
Natural hair, yay, natural hair. This looks about like 7 years of growth. Am I right?
About 14. I mean, I've trimmed
you've been
it
trimming
a
it.
couple of
cut
times,
it.
but
Oh, nice.
yeah, for a long time.
14. I love it.
I didn't like getting my hair combed out. It
I
wasn't
know.
my thing.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So, Alexzenia Davis, I'm so excited to have you because, you know, a lot of time people think like poets are just like wearing berets and are living in coffee shops. But here you are, this beautiful dynamic lady. You don't have a beret on. You do have black leggings on, so you have a little bit of the black from that. So thank you for representing.
Everyone says I wear too much black, but I like it.
It's so slimming. It goes with everything. I'm trying to pop more color in my life, which is why I'm wearing orange right now. But so what do you think about that symbol of poets just being these brooding people, smoking and wearing berets, that beatnik era?
It's interesting because I just feel like it's a lot more spontaneous than that. At least I know for me, like, you know, I don't know, when I'm in my creative process, it's like me driving in my car, a thought comes into my head and I'm just repeating it in my head until I'm able to pull over and write it down. You know, it's not like, it's not as extravagant as people may think, you know, sometimes.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that is how your poetry comes to you. You're hearing this kind of thought that's happening, and then it becomes your actual poem.
Yeah, I'm not really, you know, I don't set my room up or, you know, seek out a setting to write in. It just comes to me really spontaneously, or, you know, maybe it's from a situation that's happening in the moment, but usually it's just something hits me.
Oh, that's great. Now, the thing that I love about you is that you are really a poet. There's not a hybrid with you, like slash actress slash dancer. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, I'm a slash everything. But you were very specific about saying that I am poet. It's even in your email. I mean, there's poet in there. So what made you say that that is who I am?
I feel like that's the gift that God gave me, you know? I mean, of course, like, I'm interested in other things, you know, like when I was younger, I auditioned for things and failed miserably at them. But like, I don't know, I feel like that's the gift that he gave me, to be able to write and to be able to express myself through words. And I mean, that's how I classify it, you know?
So that's the definition that you would give for a poet, a person who is able to express themselves through words.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really great. Would you say be able to express themselves through words in like in kind of prose sentences? Like, is there like, that's really interesting because I mean, I'm expressing myself through words.
Yeah.
But what makes a poet, like specifically a poet, you think?
I guess I would say maybe your thoughts are a little bit more succinct, or, you know, some people may be really, you know, have a lot of imagery or be really elaborate. It's interesting because I never want to say like someone's not a poet, you know, like
right.
I have friends who write poetry and, you know, it's really clear and to the point and short, and, you know, but the thoughts that they have can still move you, you know?
Right.
So everyone's different, and I don't feel like you can really classify just by the way someone expresses their thoughts, but, you know, there's a certain form that is poetry, I guess.
That's great. Do you feel that when you tell people that you're a poet, that people get nervous for you, like, oh my God, how are you going to support yourself? Is that like something that comes out? Like, how are your parents or your family, how do they feel about that? Or is it kind of like something to be very proud of, because it kind of has almost like a very kind of elevated, for me anyway, artistic way, because they are kind of the observers and kind of the oracles and the writers of the time, you know?
Well, I'll say this. It would be great to be able to just write and make money from my writing, and, you know, there are definitely, you know, a lot of people who do that. For me, this is not how I support myself. So in a way, that's great for me for now, because I feel like it's very pure and uncorrupted.
Yes.
And, you know, I do it leisurely, and, you know, I do have, like, a book, and I plan on publishing more books and selling them. So, you know, I can make money from it, but it's not the way I do support myself. So I don't think anyone's nervous in that way. But if it were, you know, I think that they would be very supportive, and they would know that I could if I wanted to, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's see your book. This is your first book.
It is my first book.
I'm so proud of you.
It's called Would You Love Me? And,
wow, that's a really powerful title.
Yeah, in fact, like, that's why I called it Would You Love Me? I wrote it in college. And when I wrote it, it was like I was going through this whole transition, so it was very personal to me. But I feel like the whole phrase "Would you love me" is important because a lot of times people ask, "Do you love me?" and it's just so fickle.
Oh, do you love me versus would you love me?
Yeah, and it's like "Would you love me" is timeless, and it's like through anything, and that's what I would hope that like my future husband would be able to answer.
That is so beautiful because, and so illuminates why you're a poet. The do versus the would. I mean, they're both monosyllabic words, but both of them have an infinitely different moment. Could you put up the book once more?
Yeah.
So people can see it. So where can people get that book?
I sell it on my site, alexzeniadavis.com.
Ooh, Alexzenia. And how much does this run for?
On my site, I sell a little bit cheaper, so about $14.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Do you mind just reading just like a few stanzas from it?
Yeah, I'll read a page from it.
Okay.
I just want to know love like the one that was promised to me. I just want to feel peace like the one that runs through me. Like the blood in my veins rushing to my heart, which keeps the rhythm of my words, which form at the base of my throat, begging my thoughts to formulate correctly so that they can rise, rise, rise to the roof of my mouth and touch the tip of my tongue and kiss my lips and float to your ears and tell you how much I love you and tell you how much I love you and tell you how much I love you until you have no choice but to love me too.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
That's another part of poetry that is so integral to it is the rhythm of it. And I saw that the repetition just creates this beautiful kind of rhythm, a cadence to that. Why do you use repetition? Is it just like hone in the point, or is it for a beat?
I don't use it for too many of my poems. For this poem, I did, especially because I was really planning on recording it. Like, I record a lot of my poems for YouTube, and this was one that, like, when I was recording it, I guess I just added that in.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah, it does really, if, you know, it changes the way you perceive it. It's just like the effect that, you know, music has on you, and I think that that's important if you're going to read poetry, you know, to have that.
Absolutely. Do you have, who are some poets that you look up to? Do you have a lot of poets on CD or like as recordings?
I don't, but okay. So I appreciate a lot of a lot of poets, especially the greats like Maya Angelou and Nikki Giovanni. But the two poets, or you know, they're entertainers, but that have really affected me are Tupac and Lauryn Hill.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I just
you might have won one, but you just lost one. You might.
Yeah, I don't know.
She is a poet. She really is.
Yeah, she is, and I don't know. I just love the way, especially because, you know, of course, they're making music from ever since I was young. So it's like when I go through different times in my life or have gone through different times in my life, there's always something from their material that relates to what I'm going through. Yeah. And that's interesting because they're so, like, everyone's multidimensional, but, like, they really prove that with their artistry. Like,
absolutely. Lauryn Hill, please come back.
I know. I want her to win so bad. Like, I love her.
I do, too. I mean, this woman feels so much, and that is why her music was so powerful to us. And sometimes when you feel so much, when all of your nerves are exposed and like that, it can make you kind of like reverberate with too much, like, you know, it can almost make you want to like retreat because it's just too much to live in the world. And the same with Tupac. I miss him a lot. I really do. You can always, this is a perfect time to call in to speak to Alexzenia, 626-794-2116. She's right here with us. And I also would love for you to read a poem that you brought specifically for the show.
Okay. I definitely have to read it.
Okay, no worries.
This one is called Best, and it's also on my YouTube.
And before we do that, where can we find you on YouTube?
Okay, so my YouTube is youtube.com/Nia59. That's NIA59.
Ooh, NIA59. But Nia is one of the Kwanzaa things. Which one is that? It's
Gosh,
okay.
don't ask me.
Okay.
It's the end of my name, so that's
Oh,
why.
nice. All right.
Okay. Despite your preconceived notions of me, I do not carry baggage. I'm in love with the idea of love, not Mortal Kombat. I believe that low expectations are the devil's way of remaining in contact. And I know that when the line goes silent, God and I will still forever interact. I've been whisked away, set to sail this ocean called love. Won't you be the sole survivor on my journey? I can't tell if you'll make it, for the horizon still seems untouchable, and the waves still look unstable. And in the distance, there lie obstacles which I can't even predict. I can't promise you a smooth ride, and I can't promise you a steady tide. I can't promise you it will be all right. But I can tell you that if you rough the roughs and brave the braves, you'll be the only one in sight. I know you can't be everything. Just pretty, please, please promise me that you'll invest in me like I'd invest in you, and you never hesitate to do the things lovers do. And if you ever felt that I needed convincing, keep the jewels. I'd settle for a love that's unrelenting. An exhilarating, mind-bending, simply inexplicable experience. A spontaneously consistent system of love that defies all common sense. A first-rate, kind of like fate, never too late. Best love to date. Don't sell me a dream. Sell me reality and never let it depreciate. Sell me a spot in your heart, one that you would willingly validate. Sell me you, a version of you that I can appreciate.
Oh, wow, that is powerful.
Thank you.
So there's a theme with love because it's such a personal and like it brings up everything
Yeah.
when you're like in like a relationship or you have like this when you have a personal attachment to something. Absolutely. Well, what I wanted to do with the last few minutes that we have is just kind of introduce this film that you're in and how that came about and the title and everything like that.
Okay. Well, it was truly a collaboration between me and director/editor/filmmaker Jesse Russell Brooks.
Woohoo! Who brought you here?
Yeah,
So exciting.
he did. He's amazing. But yeah, the film that we worked on together is called Make Me a Doorway. And it basically came about because he found this old footage of this girl who he used to know/knows. And he was like, I really want to do something around this footage. And we just ended up going through so many stages of trying to figure out what we wanted to do with it. And we decided to make a video based off of women in his life, past, present, and future.
Ooh, scandalous.
Yeah, and he like, you know, he told me some scenarios and like we elaborated upon it. And I ended up just writing poetry based off of me being the woman. So it's like a duet between filmmaker and poet. And
that is fantastic. Let us see, without any further ado, Alexzenia, thank you so much for being with us. Please check out her YouTube, Nia59.
Yes.
And Alexzenia Davis, so you can purchase her book and support poetry and support a wonderful poet here. And thank you so much. And without any further ado, Make Me a Doorway. Hi, everyone. That was Alexzenia Davis's collaboration with Jesse Russell Brooks called Make Me a Doorway. Really fabulous. And I think you can also see it again if you want to on YouTube. And I'm about to spin a little bit for yo's. I'm just doing it right here very well. Daheli Live. Just sit for a spell. We're about to drop bombs right on your moms here with all my friends. Come back every Wednesday. We got so many dope people. Thank you so much. MC Time, Faux Musée, Alexzenia Davis. What? Shannon Moore, Insider Dating. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Thank you. I was not raised out in Brooklyn. All right. Thank you, everyone.